So on the 5 minute, we just have a fair value gap here, larger one here. If we leave majority of this fair value gap open, meaning we only trade in the upper half and we start to move away, treating this as a breakaway gap and a measuring gap, and then looking for higher prices still. So I'm watching to see if we can leave majority of this open on a 5-minute chart. Or if we see a hypothetical setup to go long, then we'll talk about targeting and how I use fib projections for targeting when we're trading at all-time highs, because obviously we don't have any buy side or any fair value gaps or anything resting above us. We're trading at all-time highs. So alright, so I'm watching to see if we leave majority of this fair value gap open. We've consolidated, move it sideways. Okay, didn't really do much. Lethargic price action, and then we get this explosive move up, creating a fair value gap. So this isn't a trade idea, but I'm watching to see if we leave this lower half open. Same thing we had on the 5-minute, it's just fractal. I said I wanted to see if we leave at least this lower half open. It's the same thing on the 1-minute. Created a fair value gap, potential breakaway gap. I want to see if we leave preferably this whole fair value gap open. That would tell us that we're really bullish, but I would at least want to see that lower half remain unfilled. Me personally, this is how I internalize it. I wouldn't want to buy this fair value gap because I don't want to see it traded to at all. I would be more comfortable buying a fair value gap up here somewhere instead of this one, because the logic behind this fair value gap is you want to see it stay open. You don't want to see price trade down into it because it's a breakaway gap. So you have to have some kind of context and logic behind which fair value gap you're buying. See, like if we were to form one here, I'll be more interested in buying this one, and I'll feel comfortable placing my stop inside of this fair value gap. So my focus is in this fair value gap right here. Watching this, I want to see this send price higher. If we take a quick look at Forex, Euro dollar is still looking strong and bullish, which is what we like to see. Pound dollar trading into its fair value gap from CPI, showing signs of momentum as well. S&P still making all-time highs, and then of course the Dow doing its own thing, trading into its fair value gap from 730 or 830, sorry. Now let's say I was in this trade, how would I target? Obviously we don't have any buy side or any premium fair value gaps up here to reach for. We're in no man's land. So what would I target? Me personally, this is not trade advice. Okay, I don't trust pressing the button today, which is why I'm not. But hypothetically, if I went long in this fair value gap, expecting the lower half of this breakaway gap to stay open, so my stop would be below consequent encroachment, I would either go for a quick 2-to-1 scalp because we're at all-time highs, just a quick get in, get out. If it runs 100 something handles without you, who cares? We don't know it's going to do that. We're trading at all-time highs. So I would either do that, or I'll take my fib projections. So this drop down here on this price leg before we rally up, I'll take my fib from this high to this low. Get your projections. -1.5 standard deviation. -2 standard deviation is also a nice target. Dollar index is also looking heavy as well. And then here's that sell side we marked out on the daily chart. So everything panning out beautifully. I know somebody in here took this trade. Did somebody take this? It's clean, I'm not gonna lie, but I already made my mind up I wasn't trading today. Yeah, I knew somebody out there took it. It's a clean setup. Do I have a problem with price trading to the breakaway gap in general if it trades below consequent encroachment? So if price trades into this fair value gap here, all right, so remember we said we wanted to see this stay open. I don't like entering in this fair value gap. I just use breakaway gaps. I'm already making up in my mind I'm not trading this fair value gap, because ideally I want to see this whole thing stay open. Now it's not a problem if it does, because what are we looking for? We're watching to see if that lower half stays open. So it could trade down, trade down, trade down here, and then snap back up, and that's perfectly fine. I'm still seeing that as we're really bullish. It can even trade down below consequent encroachment all the way down here and then snap back up and leave like a little wick. So if this candle looks something like this is a good teaching point. That was a great question. All right, look at that. Isn't that clean? But let's say this candle did something like this. We opened, traded down, went past consequent encroachment, but we snapped all the way back up. I'm still seeing that as we're really bullish. One, we left some of this fair value gap open. We didn't trade all the way down to the low, and we didn't close past consequent encroachment. But preferably, I like to see that lower half stay open. But in this case, we left the entire fair value gap open. So nothing wrong if it trades down into it, but I like to use it for insight. And then if you remember, I said I'd rather buy a fair value gap up here in this region, and then I'll be comfortable putting my stop inside of this fair value gap, because we don't want to see that traded to. So you don't have to put your stop loss below this low, because this is a breakaway gap. But we're going to get off of this thing, man. I'm not really interested in anything else. Pretty easy buy day, nice scalp. All right, can't ask for much more than that. That's it. I'll see you guys. We're back pressing buttons tomorrow, 9:30. We're back pressing buttons tomorrow, and maybe the PM session. All right, 2 o'clock New York time. Same thing with Friday, 9:30, live trading. And then depending on how the week looks, by Friday, we may trade that PM session as well. It just depends what we get. But if you're still trading, best of luck to you. Don't go too hard. Don't force anything that's not there. All right, I haven't taken any trades this week. Just been practicing, getting my groove back, and I'm feeling good. But y'all guys have a good rest of your day. I'll see you guys in live stream. Subscribers only. Live trading tomorrow at 9:30. All right, love y'all. Peace.